Hello students, how are you all? Hope you all are healthy and safe at your home. I can understand that the situation is very pessimistic, but we should always hopeful and have positive attitude towards our life. I was just going through some quotes and found a very suitable quote for our discussion of the today. And this quote is given by Sante Andelja, and the quote is, always evaluate and determine the product of your life. Whatever the situation will be, you should always assess yourself what the qualitative product you are going to produce in your life. The situation is very pessimistic, but we should always focus what we are going to produce in this situation too. Produce here means what we are going to indulge our life in which activity that is very useful and very helpful for our future. So keeping this in mind and collecting all the positive energy, we are going to start today's discussion. So the topic that we are going to discuss today is evaluation. This is the second video to understand the concept of evaluation. Actually, evaluation is a very broad concept, and to understand this concept we would create some more videos to make it clear. We have already discussed that evaluation is the end and measurement and assessments are the means to attain that end. Measurement is the first step and assessment is the second step, and our ultimate target is, or the goal is, evaluation. If you remember students, and you have watched my first video on the concept of evaluation, you came to know that I have given an assignment to all the viewers, and that is to find out some differences between the formative evaluation and summative evaluation. There are different parameters. On the basis of these parameters, we can easily find out the differences between the formative evaluation and the summative evaluation. The first parameter is time of use. Like in formative evaluation, this is undertaken under the process of instruction, and summative evaluation is undertaken at the end of a term or a semester or a session. On the basis of purpose, to know the progress of the student and mastery of learning, we go for the formative evaluation. But when we have to certify or have to give grades to the learners, then we go for the summative evaluation. Secondly, on the basis of purpose of the formative evaluation is to give feedback to the both learners and the teachers, while on the other hand, summative evaluation provides feedback to the learners only. Third point on the basis of purpose is that formative evaluation is undertaken to provide data for summative evaluation. Actually, formative evaluation is the base to attain the target of summative evaluation. And on the other hand, summative evaluation includes the scoring of formative evaluation. The next parameter is learning objectives. Learning objectives are those objectives which we set before entering in the class. So if we consider on the learning objectives, formative evaluation is always related with the topic taught, while summative evaluation related with the subject of the course and the program. Here we can take the example that while we are planning our lesson, while we were preparing the lesson plan, we set some general objectives and some specific objectives. Specific objectives are related to the formative evaluation and general objectives are related to the summative evaluation. As the formative evaluation is related to specific objectives, so it is limited in scope, while the summative evaluation is related to the general objectives, so its nature is very vast. On the parameter of process, we can go for the formative evaluation by the classroom observation, can conduct through oral and written teacher made test, can go for the peer and group assessment, while for the summative evaluation we have to conduct term and examination or conduct any test at the end of the session, at the end of the semester or at the end of the term. Formative evaluation is mostly internal in nature, while the summative evaluation is having a nature of external. I mean summative evaluation mostly external in nature. We will discuss in the upcoming video what is internal evaluation and what is external evaluation. Formative evaluation is conducted by peer and group assessment, while summative evaluation is conducting mostly written type of examination. It always supports, formative evaluation always supports criterion reference evaluation, while summative evaluation always supports teacher made as well as standardized test. Don't worry learners, in the next video we will discuss all these terms which we are using here, like the criterion reference evaluation, standards test or the teacher made test. All these concepts will make clear in the upcoming videos. The next point is formative evaluation is usually a quick evaluation, while the summative evaluation is formative evaluation takes a little bit more time in comparison to formative evaluation. What are the tools and techniques can be used in both the evaluations? In formative evaluation we can use varieties of assessment tools like questionnaires, scales, schedules, checklists, portfolios, quiz, debate, discussions, role play, dramatization, etc. While the summative evaluation is very limited in using the tools and techniques, like we can use only written test paper and pencil test. So if we consider that what are the tools and techniques used in formative evaluation, there are different options, while in summative evaluation we have a very limited option, and that is only written test paper and the pencil test. Now the most important product. In formative evaluation, it enables learners to know their progress in learning difficulties they face and the ways to improve those difficulties. It means it is very constructive in nature. While the teaching learning process, it provides the feedback to the learners that what are the difficulties that they are facing and how they can remove these difficulties too. On the other hand, summative evaluation only provide award or certification to the learners. In the next slide, we can find that formative evaluation enables the learners for their continuous and comprehensive development, while on the other hand, summative evaluation made the learners enable and eligible to pursue further educational course and programs. I have already told you that formative evaluation is very constructive in nature. It means it gives the students just a base to improve yourself, just to find the difficulties that they are facing and remove them, while summative evaluation only provide them degree or the certificate to make them eligible to pursue the further educational courses or the programs. The one more point in the formative evaluation, it provides suitable remediation for further development of the learners. We have discussed in the first point of the under the subsection of product that it provides remedy to the learners, that how they can improve themselves. So these are the 6 parameters. On the basis of these we can find the differences between the formative evaluation and summative evaluation. There are other terms related to assessment and evaluation which are very important, and you all should know to understand the concept. The first term that is related to assessment and evaluation is appraisal. What is appraisal? Appraisal are judgments of the characteristics, traits and performance of others. It means it's just a type of documents. It's a type of document in which all the characteristics, traits and performance of the others are written, and on the basis of these characteristics, traits and performance we make judgments about them. On the basis of these judgments we assess the worth or value of others and identify what is good or bad. After knowing these characteristics, traits and performance of others, we make judgment to know what is the value or what is the worth of that person, and then identify what is good or bad. For example, every teacher has to write their duties in the diaries, or they are maintaining their appraisal reports. It depends on the institution. Either they demand weekly or monthly or quarterly or 6 monthly or annually, but all the institutions are demanding the appraisal reports of the teacher. What does teachers write in the appraisal? They write what are the classes they are taking, what are the topics they taught in the previous classes, how many students were present, like all these type of information they are providing in the appraisal reports. And there are different authorities who are making judgments about the teachers on the basis of their appraisals. We will discuss it in the upcoming slides. Well, here what I am discussing is what is appraisal. So I have given the example of the appraisal report of the teacher. So if teachers are putting all the information about their teaching schedule and topics and what are the teaching methods they are using to teach the children, on the basis of these characteristics, traits and performance of the teacher, the authority or the principal or the head, the assigned authority makes some judgments about the worthless or the value of that teacher in this given example, and the authority identifies what is good or bad in that appraisal report of that teacher. Let's move further to know more about the appraisal. That appraisal of a learner can be explained as the work profile that the learner has performed in the previous classes or the work that the learner has completed in the class where he or she is continuing at present. I have given you the example of a teacher. Here the example of a learner is if we want to know what is the appraisal of a learner, then what will be the appraisal of a learner? In that the work profile of the learner is mentioned, what is the performance of the students, of the learners in the previous classes, and how much the learner is competent enough to complete the assignments of the present class too. So it is just like a work profile of the learner. The second paragraph is many private schools or chain of schools have made it compulsory for each teacher to submit annual self-appraisal before moving to the next session, continuation and promotion. I have already given you the example of teacher, and I have already told you it depends on the institution what they want. If they demand the appraisal of a teacher weekly or quarterly or monthly or annually. So in these lines we find that the many private schools or the chain of schools are demanding the annual self-appraisal report of the teacher before moving to the next session. Even the promotions are also depend on the appraisal report of the teachers. If any teacher want to promotion, then they have to maintain their self-appraisal report. Let's have a discussion about the appraisal format. It depends or it varies from one institution to another institution, but these are the basic points which are always necessary in any appraisal format. Like this is the first point in appraisal format is the personal information. I am taking the example of a teacher. So if we discuss about the personal information, in this teacher provides his or her personal details, employment details, contact number, residential address, official address, etc. In the second point, the self-assessment, it is very necessary to assess yourself. In this, teachers are asked to write about their duties which they have performed, their targets and achievements, and any shortfall if they were not able to achieve fully the desired target with justification. They have to provide the justification why they were not able to achieve their target. With this, their special or outstanding contribution to the school or the organization, areas which they have identified for improvement in the next session. Because it is a very positive approach in self-assessment. If you are mentioning your shortfalls, then you will have to make sure that you will make improvement in that shortfalls too. In the third, appraisal by reporting authority, headmasters or the principal, etc. Under this section, the reporting authority analyzes the self-assessment report submitted by the teacher and provide remarks. Generally, in the form of grades, they will give the teachers grades on various dimensions like accomplishment of planned work, work allotted, the quality of work, output, analytical ability, accomplishment of exceptional work, unforeseen tasks performed, etc. On the basis of these criteria or the dimension, the head or master or the principal provides some grades to the teacher. In the last, appraisal by reviewing authority, the self-appraisal report submitted by the teacher and remarks of the grades provided by the reporting authority are reviewed by higher authorities like manager of the school or education officer designated by the concerned system. In the higher education, and the VCs of the universities were the reviewing authority to assess the performance of the teachers. The another term related to assessment and evaluation is test. Test is a very common term used in various ways. You may find use of test as a tool or a technique. It is also considered as the most commonly used method for measurement of educational and psychological attributes. In the dictionary meaning of test, you can find that is given by the Singh in 2002 that test is a series of questions on the basis of which some information is sought. Here it means in test you will find some questions, and on the basis of these questions we need some information. So it is a medium to gather some information which we want or which we need for any assessment or for any evaluation. Test is also considered as a tool or a systematic procedure for measuring a sample behavior by posing a set of questions in a uniform manner designed to measure any quality, ability, skill or knowledge. As the definition given by Bean in 1953, an organized succession of stimuli designed to measure quantitatively or to evaluate qualitatively some mental process, trait or characteristics. Actually, what we find in the test, it is designed to gather some information in which it measures quantitative characteristics, traits or process, and all these mental process, trait or characteristics are evaluated qualitatively by qualitatively approach. If you all analyze these definitions we came through in the previous slides, you can easily identify the following characteristics, like tests have some organized stimuli. Stimuli here means the test items in an organized sequence to test some specific trait or attribute. Remember students, tests are or the only test, single test is constructed to measure some specific trait or attribute. Test item here means the questions which define the trait or the attribute, and the questions which are included in the test. Second characteristic of any test is test can be used as tool for quantitative measurement as well as qualitative assessment. Both the approaches, the qualitative and quantitative approach, can be used in test. The third one is that a test is a systematic tool to measure sample behavior. We cannot include all the questions, all the test items in random way. To make the effective test, we have to concentrate that all the questions are very sequential, very systematic, and the purpose or the objective which was set before constructing any test to measure particular behavior, that is fulfilled by the test. If you all go through various tests being used for assessment and evaluation, you may find there are a variety of tests, and all these tests can be classified on different criteria. There are few criteria I am mentioning here, and on the basis of only these criteria, we briefly describe what are these criteria, and on the basis of these criteria, which type of test can be used for assessment and evaluation. Like there are different criteria. The first one is administrative conditions, the scoring, time limit, nature of items, and standardization. With the help of this flowchart, we can easily identify that there are different criteria, and on the basis of these different criteria, there are different type of tests which can be used for assessment and evaluation. Like on the administrative condition, there could be individual test and group test. It means the test can be applied individually, or there are different type of tests which can be implemented in a group. And on the basis of scoring, there could be objective type test or the subjective type test. The scoring procedure in objective and subjective tests are different. On the basis of time limit, the classification is like power test and speed test. Time limits for power and speed test is also another concern. Like generally more time is provided for power test, but very less time is provided for the speed test to complete the task. On the basis of nature of items, there could be verbal, non-verbal, and performance-based items. And on the basis of standardization. There could be standardized test or the teacher made test. Students, please don't worry. I will discuss all these criteria little more in the upcoming videos, and the standardization test and the teacher made test will be discussed in detail. Only you all have to do is stay tuned with me, so that in the upcoming videos you will come to know all the aspects of test in detail. So please, if you still have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon, so that you can come to know what are the further updates in my channel. The another important term which is related to assessment and evaluation is examination. Examination is considered as a formal system to know how much one has achieved or where one stands in comparison to others. It is basically a test to see how good somebody is at something. Generally, examination is considered as a very formal, structured system in which structured questions are given, and students have to answer all these questions, and on the basis of performance in the exam or performing in the question and how they are performing in the question papers, and on the basis of these the scores are given to the students, and after giving them scores and analyzing the scores, we can find that who is better than the other. So it is a comparison tool. We can say that it is a comparison tool to assess the students. Generally, examination is considered in two senses. One, to know about how one good is. This is the first objective, and the other objective is to know the shortcomings or where is one lacking. To know, in the first objective, to know about how good one is, the method of evaluation is used as semester or annual examination. We can say that summative evaluation is used here, but in the second objective, if you want to know the shortcoming or where one is lacking, like if you want to give them feedback, we want to know what are the learning difficulties the students are facing, and we want that the students can overcome these difficulties, then the unit test and the diagnostic test are used. Means here the method of evaluation for the second objective is used is formative evaluation. Like in the diagnostic test, what we do, we not only find the learning difficulties, we also provide some remedies to the students too. So on the basis of objective, examination is considered in the two senses. The two method of evaluation is used if you want to know about how the good one is, about the goodness of any person is. The summative evaluation is used, which is undertaken semester or annually. And if you want to know the shortcoming and or the weaknesses of the person and what are the problems the students are facing, what are the learning difficulties the students or the learners are facing, then we go for the formative evaluation, and the formative evaluation is done through the unit test or the diagnostic test. We have discussed in the previous slides that what is examination, and examination is considered in two senses. Now we can say that examination may be classified in various types based on certain criteria like mode, purpose, coverage and objective. So for example, on the mode criteria, the examination can be classified into the written, oral and practical. You all students know what is the written examination, what is oral and what is the practical examination. Actually, in the written examination is like paper pencil test. You have to write the answers oral, verbally you have to give the answers, and practical you have to perform some task or the assignments given by the teacher. and on the basis of purpose it could be diagnostic, performance or promotion. If the purpose of examination is to assess what are the learning difficulties and to give them and to give the remedy to the students, then the diagnostic type of examination will be conducted. And if the purpose of the examination to evaluate the performance of the students, then performance type examinations can be conducted, like we can give some assignment or any task to perform the students. Like in maths we can give any sum to the students. In co-curricular activities we can give any play or a role of any person to perform. Like in the different type of subjects there could be a different type of performance test. Like in there could be a different type of test on the performance, like intelligence test. There are some performing type of intelligence test in which some play, some toys etc. are given to the students or the learners to make some useful or the creative product from that. So it could be considered as a performance type of examination. If the purpose of examination is promotion, then the type of examination will be different. On the basis of coverage, there could be annual, semester and monthly coverage of curriculum. If you want to cover the whole curriculum in one examination, then there could be annual examination. If we want to cover the syllabus semester wise, means 6 monthly, then it could be semester wise. But on the other hand, monthly examination can also be conducted by the authority. On the basis of objective, there could be 3 types of examination: academic, professional and competitive. If the purpose is if the objective of the examination is academic, then academic type of examination. If professional, then professional, and if the objective of examination is competitive, then competitive exams can be taken. You can understand here means the competitive examination like SSC, the railway examinations, the PO and the clerk examinations are a competitive type of examination. Professional types of examination like B.Ed, MBA, these type of professional courses, for entering in the professional courses there could be the professional type of examinations. Academic, we are yearly giving the academic examinations or the semester wise or the term, and we are giving the academic examination. Academic examination here means the syllabus, on the basis of syllabus to assess the students academically. Now the activity time, students. I hope I will make you clear the terms related to the assessment and evaluation. So activity 1 here is explain which type of examination on the basis of mode is good for different level of education in the present scenario. Different levels of education here means primary, secondary, higher and the professional. And in the present scenario means in this lockdown situation, in this quarantine time. So what are the different type of examination on the basis of mode? Firstly, you have to consider, you have to think, and then on the different level of examination which is the suitable or relevant in the present scenario, you have to answer this question. Today 3 important terms are discussed. So activity 2 is also here. So students, what you have to do, you have to find some differences between the test and exams. Exams means examinations. We have discussed in this video the appraisal, test and exams. These are the 3 terms related to assessment and evaluation, but you have to find some differences between the test and the exams only. All you have to do, You have to write the answers in the comment section of the video so that I can find that how much or at which level you have understand the concept of evaluation and the terms related to assessment and evaluation. So students, I think it's enough for today. In this video, firstly I have given you the answer of the question which I have asked you in the previous video on understanding the concept of evaluation, and the question is, what is the difference between formative and summative evaluation? I know some of you have given the answer in the comment section of the video, but for the benefit of all, I have discussed it here. In the second section of the video, I have discussed what are the other important terms related to assessment and evaluation. 3 terms are discussed here: appraisal, test and examination. These terms are discussed in brief, but in the upcoming videos, some important terms like standardized test, teacher self-made test, power test, speed test, individual test, group test, and many more other concepts which are very important, like the criterion reference test, norm reference test. These all type of the test or the terms which are related to evaluation will be discussed in the upcoming videos. All you have to do is stay tuned with me. So if you all still have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for the further updates. One more thing students, I have given you activity in this video too, just to assess the understanding level of your what are the concepts I am giving you. Are you able to understand those or not? Are you able to pace up with me or not? It is actually a feedback for me. So please give your answers in the comment section of the video. So students, best of luck for your examination and thank you so much for listening me.